Hello, I made it. How's everyone? Good evening. Welcome. I made it on. Got a little busy with little babes. But we're here. How's everyone? So I'm just setting up my colors. This is what we will be painting tonight. So I call it Fall Reflections. This canvas here is a 12 by 12. And I made this in acrylic paint. So I did a little poll about 2 weeks back to choose a painting. So thank you so much for those who participated. I think I'll do the other option for the next live. So that way those who wanted to do the other one can have that opportunity too. I also received feedback that some people would like to see this in spring. So I was going to kind of do it a little bit of both. Because yes, I'm here in Ontario and kind of over the winter now. It's been like really intense up my way up here in Listowel, Ontario. Just like a whole lot of snow. The most I've like ever seen in this area since I've lived up here for like 5 years or more. So yeah, I am so excited for the spring as well. So yeah, welcome if you're new here. I like to come on and do lives and interact with everyone, and these are all recorded. I have so many past recordings as well in my video section that you can go back and check out. And I also have a YouTube channel that I will upload this to as well. It's just called Painting with Megan Fish, and then you can access it there. So if you're here, say hi, let me know where you're tuning in. And I'll chat a little bit about my materials and then we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for waiting for me if you were waiting at 7. I just got busy with my little babe. She is now 7 months old. So time is going way too fast. Okay, so I have a cup of water, paper towel. I have this canvas here is a 10 by 10. I'll be using acrylic paint. Does not matter if you have watercolor or acrylic or any type of brand. Honestly, as long as you have something you can participate, it's all about the process and enjoying it, that painting. So here are my acrylic colors, plus I'm going to be using white. Okay, so we have the primary colors, yellow, blue, and red, and then we're going to have the shade black and white. Okay, we're going to make this something like this as our inspiration tonight. Okay, I'll make sure I put it into the camera viewpoint once I'm done talking, so you can see both for reference as we go along tonight. So thank you again for tuning in. So as for brushes, I just put on there a good variety. So I like to use like these type of brushes that are Filberts, they call them. So kind of just like a variety of sizes here is great. And then maybe like something smaller, right? Like just a nice variety. Okay. And if you don't have these particular things, just let me know. But you can make a painting even with just one brush. So you will also need a sponge, or if you have something like this, they call it a sea sponge. Just basically means that there's a bunch of holes in it. All right. So if you can't make it to the whole thing, that's totally fine. It'll be up and recorded as we go along today, and then you will see it after the broadcast here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to rotate here. So let me know if you can see and hear and everything okay. I just have some like light jazz music in the background. So let me know if it's too loud. All right, so I'm just gonna get out my whites, and make sure you get out your colors if you don't already have them out. We're gonna need lots of white. All right, so I'm gonna use one of my larger brushes right now, something like this. I'm gonna dip it into my water, tap my cup, and I'm gonna dip into white. So we're gonna paint our whole canvas white. Okay, so you're just going to go from one edge to the other, back and forth. Okay. So I hope everybody's doing good. Long time no see. I think I last went live in November, I believe. So, Happy New Year. As I said, time is flying by with the little one. So I'm just happy to be able to get on tonight and paint, offer you guys some fun artwork to create with you and your family, or just you. So you'll be able to tell where you're painting because it'll be a little bit shinier. And I know it seems weird if you've never painted with me before. You'll be like, why is she painting it white? If you have been painting with me, then you'll know it's because it's like, works really well for blending later, and it helps to make the colors like kind of pop out a little bit more and a little bit more like vibrancy. Especially with having it wet here. So I'm just kind of going back up over. I'm going to add a little water into this white time to time, because that will really help it spread too. If you find the paint isn't moving too well for you, you could add a little water. It honestly depends on the brand. Some brands will move easy peasy. Other ones that might be a little thicker, just add a little water. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I got my canvas coated here in white. Good evening, hi. Happy Friday. All right, so I'm gonna show you this one a little bit closer to chat about it. Okay, so there's a nice like kind of blue sky back here, and then this is the illusion of like further away, like trees, bushes, you know, something up in the distance there. And then we're gonna go into another layer, which is like this orangey tone, like orange and reds, and then nice vibrant green. And then we have the water and our lovely reflections there. So it'll be fun to learn tonight. So yeah, as we go along, I'm gonna edit it just a little wee bit. I might make this more green, like kind of a combo of both, just to add in a little bit more spring. But if you want to just do it in this color, by all means, that is just red and yellow, a little bit of orange. Red and yellow will make orange automatically for you. And then you can also see what I'm doing. I'll add like some greenery in there, okay? So yeah, at any time, I mean, if you want to paint a purple tree, by all means, this here is just an inspiration. And I'm just going to guide you through tonight. All right, so let's get... So I'm not cleaning this brush off, and if you did, it's fine. Just load it up again with some white. Okay, so white and a little bit of blue on your brush. All right. So I'm just gonna get rid of this ad. I'm just listening to YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna mix on my plate just like a little bit of a lighter blue. I want to make this like really soft. So I'm gonna like add in a little bit more white to make this more of like a, you know, sky blue, baby blue tone. Okay, so something like that. I want it to be lighter because I want these brighter colors to show up later. So you don't want it to be super dark, or you're going to have a harder time for the brightness to shine through. Okay? All right. So we are going to go start at the top, and then we'll go down about here. So it's about 3 fingers-ish. If you have a larger canvas, you could do 4. Okay, so I'll just draw that out approximately where the blue sky is. Okay, and then once you have that, you are more than welcome to do your edging if you have canvases like that. You can do your sides. I'll try to do them as I go. So now we're going to go back and forth from one edge to the other and just blend that upwards. Okay, we might have to load up again a little bit. So who is just tuning in for the first time with me tonight? And who has been here before? And let me know, of course, if you need any help, any questions, just put it down in the comments. Okay, so I got this. Make sure it's nice and light. If you feel like, oh, I got it on the canvas, and with that white underneath, it should help make it a little lighter too, for that blending. But if it looks too dark, just add some more white right on your brush and just do it directly on here. That'll help brighten it up. First time? Oh, welcome. Where are you tuning in? I'm in Listowel, Ontario. It's just so fun to see like where everybody is tuning in. If you would like to share, obviously you don't have to. Okay, so once we have this nice light blue shading up here, I'm going to now take this brush and I'm going to give it kind of like a cloudy effect. Maybe I'll bring it closer to kind of see. So it's kind of more cloudy. So to create that kind of texture, we're just going to tap. So you're just going to go on top. We're going to make it look a little bit more cloud-like. Okay, you can add some direct white on it if it's not kind of showing up. It's not going to look exactly like a cloud, but the idea of it is just to make it look more fluffy up there, is the term. Oklahoma, nice. It's so cool. Would it be warm there right now? Okay, and then right on this line too, I want you to tap that line so the line has faded away and it's now more of a tapped look here, and then do your edging. There. So, to bring that in, you can kind of see the little bit of that texture. It'll dry that way too. So we're going to be doing that a fair bit throughout the painting in the sky part with the tapping technique. 81, oh, so jealous. It's like -10 or something here. And yeah, it's cold. Okay, so I have the color still on my brush. We're not going to clean it just yet. I'm now going to just slightly darken this as I transition into another tone. We're going to go into some pink. So I just want to add just a little bit of blue. So I have just a little bit of blue on here. I just want to add like a bit of kind of more of a darker tad, a little bit of it up in here just to give it a little bit more contrast as we go along. So you're going to do the same thing, just kind of tap that into there just a little bit. Kind of just keep it towards the top area. Try not to let it get too dark, just like I said, because of the brighter color. It's just to add a little contrast. So maybe just that one little dot and you spread it out throughout the whole canvas on the top. Okay, so you can tell it's there, but it's not like, didn't take it over. If that happens, you can just put a little bit more white on there. Okay, but let me know if you need any help, of course, and I'll try my best to help you. Okay, so once you've done that, then you can put this brush in the water and clean it. I'll bring it closer. Try not to let my shadow in there. See that little wee bit, right? Just kind of gives it some nice contrast. It's always a little bit darker at like the top, right? It's like that. It's in the distance. It just creates a little bit more depth. All right. We're going to clean off that brush. We're going to use it again. We're going to be making some pink. We're even going to get a little bit of a lavender tone in there when we mix the two colors. Blue and pink will make like a nice kind of lavender, purpley color. Okay, so my brush is clean. I'm going to now use a little bit of red. I'm going to make more of like a soft pink. So then I'm going to take a scoop of white. So kind of have just like a dot of red and then a scoop of white. Let's mix that up there. So making like this kind of like soft pink. Yes, I love it. And I'm switching my brush around. That is making sure that it's getting evenly mixed as well. All right, so we are going to just be now tapping. So we're going to come down to about just a 2 fingers width under the blue, okay? But you're actually going to touch that. So it's here, we're going to be making this area that pink color, but I tapped above it so then I can get a little bit of a blending happening. So I'm just going to tap. Think of these like now bushes or something distant. I know it's pink, you can totally change it. It's kind of like an abstract realism. I liked it. It looked cool with the painting stuff. So you might get a little bit of purple in there as you do that, and that's great. So I'm just tapping upwards. I'm trying to make them look uneven, so I'm not doing a perfect straight row of the pink that I'm tapping into the blue area. Be mindful you don't like take away all your blue depending on your canvas size, of course. I am working with a smaller size than this one, so I'm kind of scaling it down a little bit. But if you are making one larger, you'll have to keep in mind of scaling it to be bigger. And I know that can be tricky, or if you're just learning. But where there's a will, there's a way. And I believe that anybody can paint. Just takes some practice. Just fun to see. We all have our own styles. Okay, so I just tapped it upwards. I didn't get any more pink on my brush. Like, I just keep tapping and tapping because I love blending, and I find that just really softens and tones it in. I'll bring it closer. So yeah, there is like a slight purple up there. Yours might be more vibrant, and that's totally fine. Yeah, love it. So yeah, about 2 fingers, yep. I might bring it down just a little bit more, just a tad more. Just gonna mix up a bit more. Just so when we blend in some orange next, we're not gonna lose all of our pink. So I'm just gonna bring it down just a little bit more. Wherever we have a color, we're always gonna be tapping into it and blending them just a little bit. You can use a little water into your paint, like I had mentioned, that helps it kind of flow easier. Okay, what do you think so far? Does anybody have any questions? Canvas is trying to get away on me with all this tapping. There we go. Okay, you can put the brush in the water when you're done. So yeah, does anybody else have a beverage tonight? I have a tea here. I'm trying to keep my drink a little bit away from my paint water. Because once you get painting and you get into that like flow, you could potentially dip it in that. Because I've done it. So yeah, any questions so far? Alright, so I'm cleaning off my brush and I'm going to be making orange. So now you're going to be using red and yellow to make orange. I'm going to go for a softer tone again of orange to start. Alright, so I'm going to use some yellow. I'm going to say there's a little bit more yellow than there is red in this a softer tone. So let's have a scoop of yellow and then a little bit of red. Maybe another scoop of yellow. Red is quite strong in the brand of paint that I'm using, so I know that I'll need to have a little more yellow. And I always love to add white. White just really tones it in. Yeah, this is nice. It's more of a yellow tone, so I'm going to add a little bit more red. Honestly, whatever colors you like with this painting would work, so that's what's nice about it. You can make the art however you like. Same techniques, you can just do different colors. Okay, and I'm just making sure I got both sides of the brush blended. Alright, so let's do some more tapping. So we're going to do a little bit of tapping into the pink again. So maybe I'll do the same thing, about 2 fingers down like that. Kind of like that area that I'm going to use some orange in. And then I'm just going to tap up into the pink. And I'm going to have these bushes a little bit uneven. So what I mean by that is it's just not straight, right? There's just some sides are a little bit higher than the other. Tapping is so fun. Yes, mine's more of like a yellowy tone, but I like it. It's pretty. I think I'm going to add a bit more of the red right in there though, because now that I see it on the canvas, right, things can change. So I think I'll just take my red directly, just a little bit on my brush, and I'm just tapping it into there. So now I'll just get like a variety of oranges. So if you have a darker tone, you could do that with the opposite. You could do a lighter little bit of tapping in there just to have a little bit of a two-tone area since it is a little closer. Yeah. Oh yeah, and do your sides. Okay, that should be good. Want to make sure we have space for reflections. Alright, so I'm going to clean my brush off. And I want to just kind of map out where my water is going to be now before things get lost, because that can happen now that we kind of have a basis here. So I've cleaned off the brush and dried it a little bit here. And something just to blend this in just a little more. I want this to be blended just a tad more personally on mine. Just a little trick to blend as you just use the clean off brush and you go right on top between the two colors that you want blended or softened, and you just tap again and see how that made that look a lot more smoother. All right, there we go. Now I'll clean my brush again. All right, I'm going to use one of my smaller brushes now just to map out my water area. So I just grabbed another Filbert, just a minier version. You can use any small brush. So I still have some watercolor here. I'm going to add a little bit more blue because I want it to be a little bit different than the sky color. I don't want to make it too dark again, just so my reflections will show, but just a little bit darker is okay. Alright, so we're going to add more green up in here. So, okay, so I'm going to use this kind of as like the reference. So I'm thinking right about here, and then I'm going to do more green in mine, just because I do have a smaller scale than this one. So I think I'll start my water here. So I'll just do a line across. Don't worry if it's not perfectly straight. Okay, so something like that. I'm going to take this watercolor here. I might go back to my large brush actually. Just be faster to fill it in. So you can bounce around with me. I'm just going to make this all blue so that way it has a chance to dry as we go into some other areas. Okay. I'm going to grab more whites because I'm running out. So how's everyone doing? Okay, so it's toned in here. I went back and forth from one edge to the other, making it blue. All right, it's handy that we have blue on our brush because we're going to make some green. So we just need some blue and some yellow to make green. So I have this blue here. I'm just going to take some yellow and I'm going to mix that right in there to get a green color. So I'm going to make the green, oh, I got a teal there. Love. I'm going to make it more of like slightly darker. So maybe something like that. Desired green of choice. If you want it darker, this one's a little darker. You can do a little bit more on the blue side, or if you want it a little bit brighter, you can do more on the yellow side. If you really want to darken something, you just take like a teeny tiny bit of black and stir it in. So I'm going to do that just to make it more of a dark tone. Okay. That's the color I got. Thanks. Alright, so I'm going to take my green, kind of looks like a nice emerald color. I'm going to come down a little bit into the water here so I kind of have like a bit of a reflection later. So just like an inch or so down there. Okay, so that way you still have space. You might have a bigger canvas though. So. Alright, so I'm going to fill this in by going back and forth. This is just a little bit of land. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more greenery here. Lots of mixing. Okay, so just making that. You get some different greens. That's great. As you know, you run out of a green and you get some different shades. It's awesome because nature is so different every time. That's what I love about it. Don't forget your sides. Okay. So now we have that little bit of land area where the kind of the tree can grow and we have room for reflection. I'm going to now put a little bit of bushes in here. So I'm just going to do that tapping technique again. Just going to do tapping just on that line and then just tap up a little bit. Maybe switch your brush around a little bit there so you could get some of the paint off each side. And I'm going to try to make it uneven, so let's bring a couple areas a little bit higher. You can turn the brush, so I've been doing it this way, tapping it flat, but you can hold the brush straight and then you can get a little bit of like bush peaks. Oh, thanks. Of them, some stars. Ooh, sounds fancy. I actually don't know how to use the stars, but I appreciate it. Hi, Anne. How are you? I'll figure it out. Maybe after the live it'll say something. I don't think I've ever gotten a star, so thank you. Okay, so let's bring it closer. So as you see now, these look a little bit more defined, and I did that by holding the brush straight versus kind of like flat when I was tapping. I was doing that, but then I turned it to be straight just to get a little bit of more pointed tops for my bushery. Okay. We're going to define the ground again just a little bit more. So now, just going to wipe some of this green off on my paper towel, just so I don't have too much on there. So just wipe some off on the paper towel. And then I'm going to use some yellow. And I'm going to just do back and forth here, just to make that ground area stand out a little bit more than the bush, right? So it's just a bit of a lighter color. So I guess if your bushes are brighter than mine, then you're going to want to darken down here. It's just kind of the opposite, right? So if it's light up here, darken here. If it's darker here, lighten here. And if that was a lot of words in one sentence, I was like, wait, did that make sense? Just ask me to repeat it again. Just kind of tapping a little bit there. I want to blend it a tad. I'm obsessed with blending. Okay, I put my brushes in the water. This is a little shiny, so I'll bring it closer because the shine is reflective. Yeah, this looks so cool. Looks so peaceful. This could be a painting right now on its own. It could be done. I always just like to let people know, like, it's just cool because you can make these lives, these lessons here, like, into whatever you want them to be. Like, sometimes people message me after, and theirs is different because they chose, like, a different color, or they added something in, and I love that because it's just, these are just about inspiring, like, your creativity. And if you're following along at each of my steps, that's awesome too, because you still have your own unique style. So what I'm saying is I would love for you to send me your pictures when you're done. It's always fun to see. Or you can just post them right onto my page so other people can see too. Alright, so I've put that big brush in the water. Now we're going to be getting into some trees. So our background and a little bit of middle ground here is completed. We're going to do trees and some sticks and reflections. Okay? Thank you. Are you following along? We're going to do it later. I know everybody's in different time zones. And alright, I'm going to use a small brush, one of my smaller ones here. I'll be using some black now. So black is very strong, so just try to be mindful of it. I'm going to add the stick area so it's not like standing out so much. This is more black. These sticks are a little bit more toned in. I'll even bring it closer to those sticks in there. I want to add some sticks, but they're a little bit different of a color. So I just have some black and I'm going to mix it in with some orange. Maybe black and orange, just so see it's more of like a kind of a grayish color, grayish greeny color. That was just a little bit of black into whatever orange I had left there. Okay, so as for these sticks, I'm going to kind of focus more on my right side of this canvas because I'm doing my trees on my left. Okay, so it's kind of just at the ground there, so your point there where it's either darker or lighter. And you're just going to come up, try to be very gentle, like take your time with it and just do little swoops. What also helps to make things look thinner is you could add a little bit of water into this orangey black color and use just like the tip of the brush, and then you're just doing these little like curved sticks, or they can be little trees. Sorry, my shadow. Apparently I picked a very backwards area for my camera. I'll call it mom brain. Okay, just kidding. Alright, so let's have a little bit more sticks in there. Some are tall, some are short, some are sideways. Think of them like grasses. Maybe that'll take the perspective where it's like a little bit smaller. And they will go up into like the orange time to time too. So they're not all... We'll do them across. You're going to see them more on this side, but they're still back there in the other area. So we're going to do them over there too. There. You probably cannot see that from the distance there. I might have to scoot it up a little bit. Sorry, going on the bumpy road there. You see that okay? Sticks. Or long grasses. Alright. So, now what we're going to do is just get black on our brush. We don't have to clean it. So I'm just still using the small one. And I'm going to give the shoreline now. So, this black shoreline. Here, let me move my coffee here. So, right across there. And do that shoreline. Okay, so move it back a bit. I had it so you could see both, but I moved my camera. I am not a camera person, like, or technology person, so don't mind. Okay, so let's go across. Give that shoreline, the rocky edge of the water. And I'm going to put a little bump over here, maybe on my right side. Little rocks, little bumps. You can make a couple of them, why not? So just on top of that line up here, you could do a couple little bumps. You won't, over here we're going to have trees, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I just did little kind of half circles right above this line into the grass area. Trying to make some pointier just so you can tell. We'll add white in there later to make them pop out. So for now they're just dark. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to think of what the best method would be. So I want you to take that big brush out again just for a moment. Just clean it off. Just use it as the plain brush. Okay, and you're just going to be using it flat like this. Not like this. Like this. And just underneath of here, the bottom, you're going to now just slightly blend that out. Just a tad. Just a little wee bit. Just so you don't lose all your water space. I have a smaller water space, so see how just some of that is just reflected underneath? That's it. Just a little wee bit. And we'll add white and stuff in the water later. I'm just going to fix that spot. Okay. Oh, it just looks so peaceful. Alright, we're going to make the trees. So we're going to be having them up here, but then they're going to reflect below. So you do 1 or 2 trees, or 3. Maybe you have a huge canvas. I'm doing them on this side. You can do 1 and 1 over here, honestly. Whatever you like. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of pretend that I'm drawing here for a minute, just to kind of think about what I'm doing.